Hey peeps, Candace here with hopefully a successful tutorial on the 8x10 covers that you can make into your own little journal. I just made this one. I do want to put a tie around it. But okay, so basically what all you're getting is you're getting the yarn, the Himalayan yarn, the elastic, and the cover. So I'm just going to start by pulling out this Himalayan yarn. And what I'm going to do basically is just cut it right in half. Now everybody likes something different, so you might not even want to put this on depending on how you feel about it. But I basically pick the piece that I like the best, and the part of the pieces that I like the best to the left, because this is going to be the front of your cover. So I also want to choose which side I like better for the cover, and I kind of like both of them, but I think I'm going to go like this. Okay, so I kind of lay this on here and just kind of mess around with it a little bit to see which side I like best. I like to use a lot of contrasting color, and maybe I don't want to use the entire piece. Like this piece, I'll probably cut off some of that whitish part of it. So basically what I do, and like I said, you don't have to do it this way, but I use this no-sew fabric glue. This no-sew fabric glue seems to be the best for giving you something that's not going to stick in your sewing machine if you're going to go through your sewing machine. So I just put a bead of this along the bottom and the top to hold it on while I'm sewing it. And it doesn't even have to be that much, and it doesn't have to be straight, because remember, this is boho and it can be a little shabby. Got stuck on there. And so basically I just put that on there the way I like it. This one's actually a good piece. I like the different colors in this one. And I'm going to use, remembering that the right side is going to be the front of your journal, so however big you want those pieces. So I just stick it on there and then I let it dry, and I let it dry for quite a while because I do not want to ruin my sewing machine. So I'm going to put this aside to dry, and I'm just going to pick up this other one that I already started working on. So basically, after it's dry, I use a zigzag stitch to just stitch along here so that it goes back and forth, and I usually will use a bright colored thread. So I don't know if you can see that well, but it's a purple thread. I could have used a teal thread on this and it probably would have looked a little bit brighter, but I like this purple thread. The other side is just white, plain white thread, because that's the inside and you're not going to see that so much. These have a lot of little strings that end up coming with that. So for this one, I zigzag stitch it. Now if you don't have a sewing machine, you're like, well, I don't have a sewing machine. That's okay. You can probably, after you use glue, just do a little basting stitch in the middle on the two ends, and I bet you it would stay just fine. It just, I think it looks nice and it really holds together this way. So basically, at this point, I'm going to measure for putting the pages in. So I use a ruler, and all I do is center this under a ruler, and I don't know if you can see these numbers very well. This is supposed to be 10 inches, and it's a little bit more than that. It's about 10 and a half. So I'm centering it so the 6 will be right in the middle, and I'm going to take a white pen And you can go on either side of the 6 equidistant. So a quarter on either side, an eighth on either side if you like them together. And then I'll also show you how to do it if you only want one signature. So these, I've been doing 2 signatures on these. So I'm going to do like 3/8 of an inch on either side of the 6. And then I'm going to do the same to this side. I'm going to put this on here, center it as best I can, and then 3/8 of an inch. And I'm just using a white pen. It's a Ranger white pen. You could probably use a chalk marker or a black pen if you have a light material. So you want to make sure when you do poke the holes that you're not poking through beads. This looks wrong. Let's see what that looks like. That looks good. I think I went a little too far on that. So let's see. I think I'm just in too much of a hurry. So 3/8 of an inch, 3/8 is here. Okay. All right. Measure twice, cut once. I don't know if you've ever heard that. I'm going to use this crocodile, but I think you could probably just poke a hole, even with like an awl or something. Anything to put the hole in there. And I'm going to poke the holes, making sure that I'm not poking really, really close to any. Okay. There we go. So you get the holes out. So basically I can see the holes really well and all the little stringies that have stuck to here from working with this. We'll cut this little string off. We don't need that. Okay, so I'm going to now take the elastic, and I've got this huge needle. Obviously you can poke this with your hand by hand. It's just easier for me, because my hands don't work that well, to use the needle. So I'm going to do it like this. And sometimes you will think, well, that elastic isn't going to be long enough, but you have to remember that you want it to be somewhat tight. So I'm going to just, I want to make it a little bit tight, so I'm going to pull it a little bit just to bring it in just a tiny bit and try to make this a sailor's knot, not a granny knot. Okay, so there was way too big of a piece on there. We didn't need that. So I'm just going to cut this. Alright. So now I'm going to show you on a regular piece of paper. I'm just going to take this. Say that you just wanted one signature instead of 2. You poke your holes. Instead of poking your holes side by side, you go right to the middle and you poke your holes here and here. So you would do this right in the middle, here and here, here, and here, and they can be fairly close together. They could have actually been a lot closer together than that if I wanted them to. And then you could take and put your string or your elastic through. I'm going to go ahead and use that this way. Okay. And this way. Now, depending on if you don't mind having a knot in the middle of your signature, you could put your knot back here by poking it up away from there. And so you would just tie that, and then you would end up having this signature in the middle, and that way you only have a little bit of elastic showing on the outside to hang things on, to hang your dangles and things like that on. So this is basically ready for pages, and what I've done is I've cut I've cut a bunch of pages that are 7.5 by 9. Works really well on this. So fold it in half. 7.5 by 9 gives you a 7.5 by 4.5 page. Okay, and that will work really well. This particular book is going to have 2 signatures, and you just stick it in there just like that. I love that you can move the things around, so I don't really have a whole nother signature ready. So I will just pretend like that is a signature. Okay, I noticed that 8 by 8 paper works really well because you can cut it down and it'll be a little short, but that gives you some character when you have some bigger pieces and smaller pieces. 8 by 8 cut down to 7.5. And also 6 by 6 isn't bad because you can just fold that in half and stick it in there, and especially if it's double-sided. Double-sided paper is amazing. So then I have a couple of beads here, and I just will put that right through, and I will tie a knot. This particular piece has a real thin spot on it. Is this the part I want it to be, the front, or this? I think I like this one better. So I'm going to take this back off. I'm going to put this up here because I like this to be the top. Now on the beads, I usually put the one on the front higher to closer to the top. So I'm going to tie my knot a little further up there. Just tying a granny knot, and that will hold that bead on. And then on the back, I also do the same thing. Let's see if I can get that through. But then I let the bead be a little further down, so that way you have some. It's like this, right? When it lays there, you can see the 2, okay? And then at that point, I put some. I've got this box of Bible clips, and I'm going to pull this stuff out so I can show them to you. The cat was getting into my. You can imagine the cat getting into the yarn there. So here are my Bible clips. And I just sat and I made a whole bunch of these journal clips, rather. And I just took paper clips and tied pieces of raggy sari ribbon and some the Louisa Harding ribbon, and just all different kinds of ribbon. I sat and did that, so I've got a whole bunch of those ready. And I just will take a bunch of those and clip them on the top like this. Okay, so and then some of the pages actually my friend helped me, so she actually did it. She sewed all these laces on these pages, so I think I might put a few more of those lace pages in here to make this a little bit just to give it a little more interest. So it's really not that hard to make these. I've got a whole bunch of them in the store. I just finished this one. I need to go through and add a few more pages. And then I can do some. I went ahead and put a couple of my Boho girls in there. I've got a bunch of. I've got dictionary pages. This is graphic 45 paper. I have some paper that I was using to blot off when I was doing watercoloring. And here's another one of the Boho girls, some more graphic 45. So just a little bit of everything in here, just fun. And then I can embellish these and I can add pockets and what have you. So these are fun and not that hard. And also want to let you know that I'm going to do a giveaway, and for those who have Facebook, and I'm sorry to those who don't, but I'm going to leave a link below where you can go over to Facebook and join my group. It's called Buy Sell Boho, and you are welcome to come over and buy and sell any crafty items that you make. You are free to sell over there, and it doesn't have to be boho gypsy stuff. It can be anything. So anything crafty. I just want to welcome you to come buy and sell. We're trying to make it a drama-free zone, so there are just a few little rules, but other than that, it's a pretty open group, and we don't have a lot of people, but I want to really build it up for those who are looking for ideas on projects, and for those who are looking to buy or sell. So this one will probably end up in the store for sale. Once I finish, I want to embellish it a little bit more, and then I can put it in. But there's a whole bunch of these covers ready to go, and one of these will be a giveaway. I haven't really decided which one, but it doesn't really matter. They're all gorgeous. So head on over, click below, head on over. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. And the store link is also below, so you can go get ribbons and journal covers, wall tapestries, all kinds of good stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for staying with me this long, and we'll see you over at the store.